Hey guys, today I'm in Blender 3.3 and I'm going to show you some of the modifiers in Blender. Let's get started. Okay, so I just have a blank Blender scene here. And I'll press A and X to delete everything. Then I'll just quickly enable screencast keys so you can see what I'm doing. And I'll press Shift A and add a cube. So the first modifier we're going to be going over is the subdivision surface modifier, which basically makes an object make an object have more points. So if I just go to here, usually it's here by the default when you first open Blender. So then I'll just go over to this one, which is if you drag over it for long enough, the wrench, and then it's called modifier properties, so I'll just click on it. And then over here it says cube at the top because we have our cube selected. And then it says add modifier. So I want to add a subdivision surface modifier. So I'll just press add modifier, and then it shows me all these modifiers. So in generate, near the bottom, there's subdivision surface modifier. So if you set it to cat mole clock, I think that's how you pronounce it. That's just rounding it out. So basically, before the cube had points like this, but the subdivision surface, so before here was the cube, and now the subdivision surface modifier added points here, 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 and here. And it rounded it all out. So that's basically what the subdivision surface modifier does. So I'll just erase that. I'm gonna use it to do our next modifier. So I'm gonna set both levels viewport and render to 6. Oh, and also simple basically adds it without rounding it out. Adds the extra vertices. So now I'll just press Control A to apply, or I can use this arrow and then I can tick apply, and then I get it applied. So now I have more vertices, but I wanted mine rounded out, so I'll change it back to cat mole clock. And here now we have like a sphere shape, but I'm just gonna add another subdivision surface modifier. Set it to 2, and then I'll apply it with Control A. Okay, so now we have a sphere, well, a cube that's been subdivided 8 times with cat mole clock. So I'll just add a new modifier, which is the displace modifier under deform. This is our second modifier. So now the sphere gets bigger. I'll just click new. And then over here, I'll just click this thing to show it in the texture tab down here, even though before we were here, it brought us to it over here. So I'll just change it from image or movie to clouds. And now you see that you've made the sphere, that was the cube, all bumpy. So I can right click and shade smooth to make it look nicer. And yeah, you can use this for like just making ground textures, like ground bumpy, or you can make it on a small scale to make it look like something like cool that's sci-fi. So yeah, that's what you can do with this modifier. Oh, and also just gonna apply it at a good size. Maybe I'll change it to 1. Yeah, it seems good. Now I'll just apply. And now, just to show you something, I'll add another subdivision surface, and I'll set the levels to 2. Okay, so while it's loading, okay, so it's loaded. And now, if I apply this, you can see that I now have 6,291,458 vertices in my scene, which is way too much for just a single object. So I'll add another modifier, and that modifier is going to be the decimate modifier under generate. So it takes a while to load the higher the mesh is. So I might just pause the video until it loads, and I'll set the ratio to 0.7. Well, actually, I'll set the ratio to 0.125. Be back in a minute. Okay, hey guys, I'm back now. If we tab in, we can see that the vertices aren't too many. There's not that many vertices, but it's still a bit high poly. So sometimes I only do a little bit at a time to not make it too low, so it like breaks apart. So now I should have response for it a little bit, so I can change it to maybe half. Whoops, I changed it to 0, so I'll change it to 0.5. Now it's loaded with only 393,000 vertices, but I still think for this it's too high, so I'll change it to 0.25. Okay, so it's loaded for me, and I think 200,000 vertices is a good amount, so I'm just going to apply it. And that's it. Okay, so if you watch that video, here's how to make what it looks like in the thumbnail. So I'll get a good position with the middle mouse button. I push down the middle mouse button and drag my mouse around, or I can press shift and then I can hold shift and then middle mouse button, and then I drag around my mouse and then I can pan around. So that's how you move around there in Blender. Now I'm just gonna get a good angle. I think this looks nice. Then I'll press Shift A and then add a camera. Now I'm going to press Control Alt number pad 0, and then I'll move it around with G. So then, or I could also press View up here and then Align View. Align active camera to view, but because I'm in the camera view, I can't use that. But if I go out, then view, align view, I can do that, but I have a good position, and I'm just going to press number pad 0 to get into the camera view. So, how to make the backdrop is you press Shift A, you add under Mesh a plane, and then you press S5 to scale it 5 times. Then I'll move it with G and Z. So I just press G and Z to move it on the Z axis. So now it's down there. I might just move it down a bit more. Now I'll press Tab to go into edit mode. And then I should be in here. So it should be like this for you. So I'm just going to click this, or I can just press 2, which I will. So I press 2, and now to select these two edges to extrude up, which basically means making them go up, I can either click and drag over both of them, or I can click one edge and then hold shift and then click the next one, and then I can keep holding shift to select all of this, but I only need 2 really. So I'm just gonna press E, Z, and 10 to extrude it on the z-axis by 10. So now I have like a backdrop, so I'm just gonna select this edge, and this edge with shift, and then I'm gonna press Control B to bevel, and I think that's enough bevel. And so how you do a bevel is you press Control B and then you drag, and then you scroll with your mouse wheel down to get less cuts and up to get more cuts. So I'm just scrolling up pretty high. Now it looks smooth, but I'm going to right click Shade Smooth so it looks even better now. If you have the render engine at Eevee, you just need to click the Eevee and then change it to cycles. And then I'm going to use GPU compute, and I'm going to use 1024 samples. And I'm going to use under the denoiser, the optics denoiser in the render properties because I think it looks better in optics. So I'm just going to go up to the very top bar, then to viewport shading. Now you can see it's too dark and I can't see anything. So if you want to see everything, you can press Shift A, and under light, add a sunlight, then press GZ, and you see the little sun icon. So move the sun icon a little bit over this thing, and then now I will select this, then go to the materials and then click New. Okay, so now I have a new material, and I'm going to change the color to like sort of like this color, like a bit bright, and then like I'll change the metallic all the way up, and I'll make the roughness lower, so then I'll tweak it until it looks nice. And if you want to get the exact same materials in the thumbnail, this is the thumbnail material. So the metallic is 1 and the roughness is 0.248. That's how you make this. And now if you want an image, you can press F12, and if it's not working, then you need to press function F12, but mine's defaultly at F12, so I'm just going to press F12. Now it's going to render, and I'll pause until it's done. Okay, and this is the final image. Thanks for watching, and bye!